Before we begin to glue our petals thoroughly, we need to bring one thing into perfect. The simple one. Since there are many petals, we will work a lot. We leave the small petals as they are, and all the other 3 sizes Remember, we worked at the base of the petal, we bent it inward. It's not enough, we also need to glue it. All our bends will go to 0 if we glue. We will not see anything. We will collect them here, one on another, and glue them. So here we'll make our petals. And so all 3 except small ones. I understand what it needed, but you won't do anything. Do we want beauty? Let's go to beauty. That's all. We pasted all the petals, we made them with such envelopes, and now we will collect our flower. To do this, we need to make a cotton center. Since I have plastic basics, I use one of them. It is 2.5 cm tall and 1.5 cm wide. Tentatively. You can wrap the same thing from cotton. You don't need a very small one and don't do a big one either, because you will need to close it thoroughly now. So let's start with small ones. Now we are the first to smear it. We smear it to the center. At the base of the petal completely, further down the center, and that's enough. Try to be the first to make those wrapped in. You choose them and they will be the first, and then we will do them. You plant petals directly under the base. You can even crawl a little on the wire, but don't get carried away. All the time while we are collecting the flower, we will ensure that excess thickness below, under the cotton center, does not form. We don't need it. And let's go. We plant the first petals in a circle, but without fanaticism. Not one to another to crawl. Make approximately. Somehow. Now our task is to glue the cotton center, to close it. We will need 4 5 pieces petals to solve the problem. First petals. Like this. Now we'll play a little trick and climb inside the cotton center with a stick to stick the first petals tightly to it. Let them bend somewhere. It is not bad. This is the middle. If you pick it up the middle of any petal, then this is happening. The petals are twisted and lie. So, if you want to glue something stronger, then glue. So here, so we don't twist it, but we press it with a finger so that the cotton thing is not visible. Below, we also monitor carefully so that everything is as flat as possible. The next rows will form all the beauty. We smear the petals. We coat thickly. Do not make everything right away. Piece of 5. We have a lot of them, without fanaticism. We are oriented in a checkboard pattern. This is not the essence, it will not be visible. Glue it together. 1. Everything seems fine, but it sticks out too. I want to bend it. It went to the side early. Like this. Still here. Like this. Well, another 5 pieces. Look, there may be extra. So what? Let them stay, that's okay. Then we'll do the second. What kind of bud? In principle, at this stage, we can already print a smaller sticker on the printer, make a bud at this stage if there is a desire. You can begin with varying degrees of disclosure. In general, Dahlia is more fancy than the one from flower beds. Rather for decoration, not a bouquet. It depends on you where you want to adapt it. Just a couple more. Little ones. And move on to number 2. Do not forget to look at your leaf from the face to see the drawing, the direction of the petals. Some stubborn petal, it is sticking out. One still wants to stick, and a couple will remain superfluous. But I'm not very upset about this. Here we put it and lost where you want it. I wanted to go here, like this. Use your fingers to correct the direction of the leaves. We remove the excess and take the next size. As you may already guess, we will put it here. Before gluing, you can bend the wires under 90 degrees directly, where the fabric ends. Bend with the fingernail so as not to do this during gluing. A few pieces were bent and greased. It's convenient when the glue is hard. I often talk about this. Do you know what good glue means and how to make good glue if yours is not very good? It must be smeared and allowed to dry, or you can hold it on the battery. I recently forgot a can of glue next to the battery. I have a battery near the table and I pushed it close to the edge of the table, 5 centimeters from the battery. The temperature is now high. The can was closed. In general, when I opened the glue, I found that the side that was close to the battery, there the glue literally welded. He became hard as rubber, no longer dissolved. So, here you are. Do not overdo it, but as an option you can make your life easier. Glue the next size of the petal. The assembly is simple, girls. Close to one another, planting petals. One row, the second size, then the next side, and then go to the next size of the petals. Lift them up a little. How much did we get? 6 petals per one row. It's very disgusting when your hands are in glue. Immediately everything clings everywhere. It is unpleasant. We bent a little wire so that these petals look up. Therefore, it's good that we have petals on the wires. Otherwise it would be difficult to cope and direct as it should. Next here. I have 2 left and 4 more. We also orient 6 pieces at our tier. 4. I scooped thick glue. 5, 6. In a checkerboard pattern, relative to the previous tier, glue this tier. Like this. We get dirty completely. How without it? I can't. I don't know about you, but it annoys me when there is a lot of glue. The eye burns. I don't want to quit and wash my hands. You remove the layers, they grow again. Look, it's fun, beautiful. You can raise slightly. The main thing is to make sure that your core does not form excess thickness here. To do this, we bend off the wire strictly as our fabric ends. We tied everything. We looked everything was neat. We look at what we have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We spread with glue. Smear all 8, and if there will be something, that is okay. Do not forget to look closely from the front. It always tells us. We can have one quantity according to the pattern, once at a time. Today we have one mood, tomorrow we have another. So the hand fell, then it will be differently. We always look at the front side and ask it, do you have enough, sweetheart, or there is something else to stick on? Immediately we see if it's enough or not enough. One is with some kind of speck. I'll remove this petal altogether. I don't know where I picked up the stain, but we may do it shortly. Plant the next year. The principle is the same. Sorry girls, sometimes it shakes right when the glue is glued on the hands. So, like this. Do not let our petals crawl away. We are gluing, let them be redundant. We glue. I really like, I don't know about you. Look here. It seems to be going in order, but here, well, one petal is missing. I knew. I thought it would be superfluous, but it turned out perfectly where I stuck. Like this. It's not hard to guess what our next steps are. We direct up. So, little. It is not difficult to guess. We take the next size of petals and do all the same. By the same principle. We smear pieces 7. One, two, three, four, five, 6. If you dig on the internet, you will find a wide variety of dahlias, their colors. There are some interesting, very beautiful colors some across sometimes. That's what nature does. It is clear that in some cases it is not even possible to keep up with some in nature. Nevertheless, it is quite something to emphasize the beauty, to be inspired by it. Therefore, this is your task. Search, choose a color for yourself. Do not do at random. I would like to do like this. In any color, yes, and indeed in any work. Everything turns out when you want to do something. When no one forces, but you want it. When you want to find time to get to your favorite activity. So, somehow, the seventh will also stand here. There are 2 wires here below that are attached to the cotton center, and the rest are wires from the petals. We are pulling these long, most central ones. Here we push with the nails to observe the plane. Usually, I already give the basic shape to the flowers after I have collected everything. While it dries, it is possible to give an artistic touch. To bend, we smear the next batch of the petals. They are light, spinning to and from, clinging to everything, and of course staining the table. Then we wash. It is also possible to make with organza. I'm just kidding, organza rose was enough for you. It will be a disaster. Rose stuck to everything. Organza skips all the glue. What to say about Dahlia? It can be made from habotai, satin, crepe satin, jazette, as you want. We make crepe today. Here is such a set of identical actions from tier to tier. Note that we have repeated actions since processing. Everything is very similar. Glue the next row. You are my beauty. We look, admire, and add a couple. It will not be so noticeable if excess is formed. At this stage, they will not be redundant because the volume has appeared and it is already easy to get lost in this volume. Pull up. We are making a flat S. What a dirty table. You can send some petals in different directions. Bend them somehow so that they are not strictly in one grown but in different sides. Someone in one side, someone in the other. Be more creative. I repeat, Our dahlia is really creative. It is more suitable for decoration than for a bouquet. We can afford it. You can take a smart cloth. Petals are already directed in different directions. It is already more fun. All that remains of our pile of petals is the large petals. Now we will deal with them as quickly as with all previous ones. All the same, I think you understood everything without me, and everyone has already gathered in front of me. We put everything a lot. I often remind you of this. We do not give you glue, we spread it a lot, not only to keep it well, but also to dry for a while. So that you don't put it on right away and fix it tightly, but so to be able to make variations. To bend, rumple, peel and glue again if it is needed. Anything happens. We are all human and the hand can sometimes flinch. Just to have such an opportunity. I also like to bend, mash at the end of the assembly. Like now, I twisted the petals. I love it very much. And I recommend you. Creative mess. There is a creative mess on the head, sometimes it is also in the petals. Such here. At the beginning, I don't have to think about how to plant another petal. This is not a rose. Here they go and go. It is better to twist them later, at the end. Who and where? Make sure the bud is flat, at our flower, to not overgrown with a cloth leg. We tacked another tier. Also we can twist the petals as we want, as we see it. I saw today on the internet almost the same color dahlia. I really liked the color. Although usually at the mention of this flower, a completely different color pops up in my head, but I saw a completely different. So there was a more burgundy middle, and so here it is. Transition was cream color. We painted green, but there is hardly a shade of it. I wanted it to be seen brighter. Not counted. Grab the sheen, girls. It seems that the green color was quite saturated, but not enough to sufficiently manifest itself in the flower. Pay attention, we collect the last row. The flower's head will be finished soon. I won't make it can't call it a booty. What would you call it? Call it curls or beauties. We have the last row, my dear girls. We quickly bend the wire. Now there will be happiness because we are going to finish the assembly of the head. There will be a trifle. We move in a circle. We glue it in conditionally staggered order relative to the previous row. Here. It's not clear where it's enough and where it's not. We almost have done everything. That's all. We finish now. The petals are over. Stop it. If you want, collect the middle thicker with your hands. Remember that it should be more in upper parts. And the lower petals can also be twisted as the previous rows were. Randomly. Just a little house. Here. To make it more creative. We are done with the head. Now, what do we need to do? To begin with, we need a little rest, eat candy in honor of the fact that we gathered the head of the flower. Well, did you eat the candy for the successful flower? In general, I was racking my brain for a long time, thinking, what should I do? Definitely, I didn't want the interior option. Attach a long leg. I thought to leave a short one and attach leaves to it. Somehow I didn't like it. I don't want to. I want to make an old version. We did in the most elementary courses and have not come to him for a long time, judging by the layer of dust gathered on my glue gun. So let's get to it. Now you will laugh. Earlier I used these nippers in my arsenal, but here, since the flower's leg is thick, it will need to be cut to the root. I needed big nippers. I asked my husband to give me normal nippers. He gave me. He's a good man. It is very solid, male nippers. Excuse me, it is the first time. I never worked with that. We cut the flower head. It needs to dry until tomorrow. We do everything at once. We chop on the vine. The nippers are big but work not well. These are our husbands, good people. Sorry. I'll tell my husband what I think about him. What am I doing? I'm making step by step. No sense from this huge rusty junk. Watch carefully so that in a fit of passion. Why should we let it dry? So that they are already tight and dry. So that we don't cut off the petals in a fit of passion. It's not cut off. Everything we hold on, everything is beautiful. The petal immediately became light and airy. We take our leaves and try on how long they will look good. We can trim too, don't worry about it. I put away the husband's snippers. I am upset, I thought it would help. He complicated my life as always. Watch. That's how we apply. Leaves are good, but when they stick out a meter, it's also not beautiful. I think we'll cut off the excess with scissors. Like this. Since we have a flower, a dahlia, without a pronounced center, I mean around the circumference. It's circle and smooth, without any whorls that can be pushed away, as in a rose we have. Especially noble Old English roses, where one side is smaller, the other is larger. There no difference from a start. As I keep it will be. We glue in the same way as we attach the leaves. I wanted it this way. Gun warmed up quickly. We oiled it while it is hot, and we apply. One leaf, and also the second leaf. Anyway, here's some stickiness formed from wires. If you let it dry well with the petals, then we can do without this protruding part at all. We don't have time yet, I didn't let it stick out. I didn't mount for 100 years. I love it, although I haven't done it for a long time. 2 leaves. If you want, you can make more leaves for the flower. Done. Now we need to cover this disgrace and build a mount on this glue. How do we do this? We have one pin, move here. Take a pen, note a little here. It would be nice to do it with an office knife. I don't have it at hand, but I don't want to search, so like this. We are making cuts. Take a pin. Our task is to put it there and hide it from the other side. They hid from that side, now we need to withdraw to this side. Here is our pin. Ideally, it is also necessary to do this, so that on the opposite side. By the same principle. My scissors are very sharp. Sometimes I don't have to incise anything by myself. I do not think well. We need this way to be. So we do like this. Go here. The hole is too little. We went. Now from this side. And here is not enough. The pins are different. Some have fine ponytails and some do not. What to do? Like this. Close both pins. We find a place for them as we need and close them. No, all the same, it will be better if they look one way. These are such small things that we discover in the process. On the other side, we insert so that the tails are in one direction. It will be more convenient to chain sew. Sew equally. That's all. Pre-try on yourself. You won't see right now, I'm approximately watching how it should hold. Then everything is very simple. If I have, while I conjured, my gun burned out, I want to try to cut the excess. It is sticking out and I don't like it. In general, do not keep the glue gun unused and heat it for a long time. It should be like this. So now we'll feel everything here. Gently, boldly feel in a circle. We try not to fall. If you have a butt from the wire, then do not fall on it, but go around. That's all the charm. That's all. Then the task is simple. Put on the right place gluing with pins glued to it. Estimate whether there. You may tuck a little. You will not peel it back because it is a completely different glue, not PVA. After that, we straighten everything, direct it in the desired direction. In general, that is all. Here we have a dahlia. I have it not summer, but spring flower. You can make it autumn, summer, and even winter flower. So girls, everything is in your hands. Just be creative. I remember your surprises on Rose Laura. I believe in you. You can do everything. So do it.